Welcome back, Shalloners. It's Evil Week. Now, we've talked about some of the other deadly sins, and you might think that the topic today is going to fall under the category of lust. But actually, today, we're going to talk about two different sins, sloth and gluttony. Because here on Evil Week, we're not just working harder, we're working smarter. And that means parting stupid men from their money. So, I'm not just going to tell you advice today. We have a very special guest, a real-life cam girl. And she's going to tell us some of the tricks of the trade, break down exactly what goes into certain aspects of sex work and that whole category of professions, dispel some myths, and tell you some lessons that you can take into your own life. And certainly I'm going to learn these things too, so that we can all kind of manipulate guys a little bit better, get them to do our bidding for us. And like I said, work smarter, not harder. So, but first I just want to remind you guys, if you want to talk to me one-on-one about your own nefarious plans for life, find me on my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. Okay, so we're here with Bella, and Bella is on FaceTime audio right now. Say hi, Bella.
Hi.
So a few weeks ago, I was drunk watching Hustlers in the theater, and I was like, I need to interview a stripper, a sex worker, a cam girl, an escort, like someone who works in that profession and who is in the business of taking money from stupid, horny men, because these are the women who need to be building our society because they've got it figured out, right? And so Bella hit me up and she's like, this is something I definitely have experience with. I would love to do an interview for Evil Week. And I'm like, yes. Okay, so I will let Bella explain to you what she does. Take it away, Belle.
All right, so I'm on a camming website. There's a bunch of different camming websites online. Mine is a little bit more connection-based. You can direct message these people. You can do online, like one certain type of cam show, like a private cam show with one man at a time. Mm-hmm. You can also sell your own videos. You can sell your own pictures, and it's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me just a little bit about your background. How old are you, if you feel comfortable sharing that? Are you in school? What state you live in? What country?
I'm 21 years old, and I am a student. Mm-hmm. I don't really feel comfortable saying where I'm from.
You don't have to say where you're from. You don't have to say where you're from, girl. I know. You got to be careful with stalkers. You never know. You never know.
Exactly.
So how did you get into this?
I actually had a friend that was doing camming on a different website, and I was always working retail jobs. And, you know, in general, I've always been told by ex-boyfriends of mine, like, you could be a porn star. Like, you're kind of hot. And
such a compliment. It's like, thank you.
I loved like just taking nudes. Like I was just into it. I don't know. I just did it like it was nothing, I guess. And I mean, I didn't. Every time I talked to my friend about her job, I always loved hearing what she had to say, and I always thought it was so cool. And you know, even just being like, yeah, I have to go to work now, and she's like, yeah, I had a great day at work today. I made a shit ton of money. Ugh. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing? You're making how much, and I'm making how much doing work for way longer that I hate. Like, it was just miserable. And I really thought about it, and I was like, I can do what she's doing. What's the loss? And why can't I do it? I'm hot and I'm confident, and you don't have to just be hot. You can, if you're confident, if you don't think you're the hottest person ever, you can still do it with that confidence. Yeah. Everybody has a certain type. So for me, it was, you know, I want to make some money, and I think I'd really like doing this. Why am I holding back at this point, you know?
And what was the reaction with your family and friends? Do they know or do they not know?
They do know. My parents know, and my friends do know. My close girlfriends. My girlfriends, before I started it, I asked for their opinions, and some of them were a little bit reluctant just because they wanted to make sure I was okay. You know, this is like on the internet, and sometimes if you're gonna want to change your field one day, this could bite you in the ass, you know? You never know. Unfortunately, it's kind of crappy. It's really just sex, and everybody has it, and it's just a form of it. However, you know, they were just warning me. However, I knew this going into it, so that was fine. My parents, they don't love it. They're not huge fans. However, I'm 21. It's kind of my own game at this point, you know?
Right. So walk me through a typical day in terms of camming, because I watched like a documentary on cam girls, and it looks kind of like what I do in terms of like YouTube and being on camera, but so much more tiring, like talking to people and interacting with them and getting them to tip you, and then like masturbating or taking your top off. And I'm like, girl, I am exhausted just watching this. You are earning your money. You earn every cent of it. So yeah, walk me through a day in the life.
Yes. So again, with my website, it is a little bit different. I'm kind of my own like director. So every day I'm kind of just figuring out what I want to do. Now, again, I have school, so it's not every single day I'm filming a new video or whatever. But, you know, for the grand scheme of things, I like to film a video and have a new video out maybe once a week. So basically I'll, you know, do my makeup, and then I just kind of think of some things that I want to do. I buy like a bulk load of different types of lingerie, whether it's from Amazon, Dolls Kill, whatever. And then, you know, as I'm doing my makeup, I kind of get into character. I think about what I want to do that day. Do I want to be more dominant, more submissive? And then I kind of just, after I'm done my makeup, I set up my camera. I usually like to do content deals where I can basically have like a 10 to 20 minute video, and then some like a good amount of pictures, max like 100. That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy.
That's a lot of pictures and a lot of work.
It's honestly, okay, it's not that bad when you really think, okay, realistically, I have my camera set up. I do like a timer, and I'll say, take 3 pictures in one snapshot. So
the burst.
Yeah, different photos. And then I'm like, hey, that was 50 pics right there. Perfect. You know, like just whatever I'm feeling, if I think I've got enough variety. So I'll take my pictures, I'll take my video, I edit it, and then from there, I'm just marketing. I am messaging my regulars saying, hey, I have a new video. And there's certain people that have certain different kinks. Some are more into domination, some are into being subs. So you kind of have to know who you're talking to, and you just let them know, hey, I have this video, it's going to be this much. And then from there, you have people that are going to buy it, some people that want to dirty talk with you as they're watching it. So then you can charge, I charge like $15 to, $20 to dirty chat for like 15 minutes, stuff like that. And then, sorry, 1 second, my dad's just home. I just need to say hi. Sorry.
Hi, Dad, you can be on it too. So while she's doing that, I am like already feeling like I have completely wasted my career. Like she's like killing it. This is so cool. I think like one of the big questions I have, and I know probably the viewers have, it's like the video actual content. Is it like a solo sex show? Like I have like no idea. Is it you just kind of like looking sexy and like flirting around on a bed?
No. Okay, so it's solo. Yeah, like you can sell. I know girls that on that website that do like boy girl videos. I just don't have somebody that wants to do that with me at the moment. So
I know.
Maybe
I can't even find a guy to interview in like my stuff. It's like, no, I don't want to be on camera. I'm like, it's literally you just talking. What's wrong with you? So I can't imagine how hard it is to cast basically like, like a sex partner.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like, I'm not huge on, like, hooking up or anything, but when I do hook up with somebody, it's kind of like, if they know, I'll throw around the idea. Some guys are down. However, I also, even if their face isn't going to be in it, I don't have that trust with the guy where I want to, you know, if they know that I'm going to be making money off this, I have no idea if they're going to blackmail me or, you know, let me know one day, hey, F you, I don't want you to sell my stuff anymore. You know, I just don't trust anybody enough to let them be a co-star at the moment.
Trust no bitch. We got to do this ourselves.
Hell no. But maybe one day down the line when it's serious and the guy's like real, then I'm probably going to be more open to that. But right now it is solo. Yeah. Honestly, for the most time, it involves stripping, masturbation, a lot of dirty talking, and just being into it. You just got to be, you know, hot and just feel hot. And I think that's what attracts people the most.
So tell me, speaking of dirty talk, my subs have asked for dirty talk things all the time. And like, I have like my own vibe for dirty talk. I don't like to say like super dirty words. And I think it's like more, of a challenge for me if I can get a guy really turned on, just kind of like painting more of like a narrative, being like pussy, penis, like penis.
Yes.
Who says penis in dirty talk? See how bad at this I am? I'm like, this is so stupid. So do you have any like dirty talk tips? Are there any phrases you find that guys are like, oh my God, like that, like help me, help us.
Okay, let's go into it. That's actually a great question. So, I mean, just in general, when I'm talking to people at the beginning, if I'm just meeting, like if I just start talking to a guy, like first time I'm interacting with this person, but I kind of want to make a sale, kind of want to turn him on, just so so then I can say, hey, and now you should buy my video and watch me do what I just said in it. You know, it's quick little things. So whether you want to talk to your man or talk to a new guy, whatever the case is, you got to start slow. So, hey, start slow, and I love the narrative idea. So, you know, what are you up to? And then if it's usually, what are you going to hear? It's going to be just laying down, relaxing. Oh, you're relaxing. You have to feel, the thing is you have to be confident. That's my tip. You have to know that a guy's dick will get hard. No matter, like they want that. They want that. And you have to start it. But I think the thing is, you are, I wish I was watching something with you. Just cute little things. You know, you could throw in a cute little babe. Hey, babe, like, oh my gosh, if I was with you right now. Little things, sweet.
Yeah. So start sweet. Yeah, you don't want to start like, I wish you were fucking me from behind and your dad was in the closet watching. It's like, what? Like, you got to really kind of, like, because it's important to figure out your audience. And this was something else I was going to talk to you about. You're like, some guys like dominant, some like submissive. It's like, how do you know? That's a huge question I get. Like, how do you know which side a guy falls on? So what kind of questions or like dirty talk sort of like feeler questions do you go with to find that out?
Just in general, sometimes guys will have like, they have like an actual profile, so they can kind of say like, I'm into this, I'm into that. However, sometimes it's not really like that. It's more so like, they'll just have nothing in their profile and they're like, hey, and I'm like, do I call you daddy? Do I call you like sir? Do I call you bitch? Like you, no,
this is so good.
But it's the truth, you know, I have no idea what to call them. So I know I'll just start off usually babe and baby. Like, I don't think anybody can hate. I think it's just kind of like an affectionate type of term. True. Like I think just in general to get close to somebody on that website, it's that similar vibe. However, I like to figure out, I'll just ask them, you know, what types of things are you into on here? And usually if they know, they'll know, and they'll say, I'm into this, I'm into this, I want this. And then you take it from there. You kind of just know how to deal with it. For the most part, I feel like I kind of interact with more dominant guys and I'm more submissive.
That's interesting.
Which is great because I'm like TMI, but I'm kind of into that too. I feel like I'm better at being more submissive than being like swallow your cum after it comes on me. But you know, some people are into that, and I can be a bitch. You know, if it's a long day at school and I'm mad, I'll just say, fuck you, I'll push you in the corner and kill you.
I think the key is balance. It's like everyone wants balance, and like that's why like you always hear like CEOs are the ones who have a dominatrix, because they're in control all the time, and so they need someone to like counterbalance that. And it's like, yeah, you and I, like, we run our own business. Like, at the end of the day, I'm like, just put something in my mouth so I can't keep talking. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, just shut me up. Like, I just want to be the girl. I want to be submissive. And I think, like, depending on the guy you're with, like, they want to be more dominant. But like for me, because I am ever so slightly older than 21, and I date guys who are 21, like, they want a girl who's more dominant. And I certainly come across that I'm going to be like that. I'm like, surprise, I'm lazy as fuck in bed. So that's why this video is about sloth. Like, I'm lazy. So it's definitely hard to tell. Okay, but I'm sorry, keep going. Like, dirty talk.
So I think just kind of ease into it. Just let them know, like, oh, if I was there with you right now, you know, I'd start massaging your back, whatever you want, help you relax a little bit. And then from there, it kind of just, it's going to be the guy that's going to hit you with, well, what would you do next?
Oh, they always love to ask that. Yes, you have to, tell the story. You're like, you could tell me something, but okay, fine. I'll keep writing this story for you, dude.
Sorry, I cut out a little bit. I didn't hear that last part.
It's okay. I'm just rambling. Keep going.
But yeah, it's kind of just the flow. I think in general, the guy will always be getting hard at something you're saying and have no problem let you know, okay, and now I want you to suck my dick. And this is all like, this is all over message. Like,
yeah,
you're not even sucking a dick. You're just letting him know how you would do it. And then it's things, just kind of think about what you're doing now. Like, you know, if you aren't even experienced sometimes in like sex in general, you know, easy things like if you want to know how to like specifically turn a guy on, honestly, I suggest girls to just watch some porn, see what porn stars are doing, see what they like. I know you're not going to be doing, I'm talking mainly about like blowjobs right now.
Yeah.
Simple things, and just let them know, like, I want to lick the tip, you know, while stroking you off. Like, just little things. If you've sucked a dick before, you know what to do. Put it into words and own it. Own it.
That's the thing. You have to own it. And the thing that's difficult with dirty talk IRL is that like you can like break character and laugh. And like it's okay to build that in, you know? It's like, ooh, ha ha ha, we're gonna do this. But like over text you can get really good at it because yeah, like you can be like cackling to yourself and like nobody has to know. And in terms of watching porn, like guys are very, very, very visual. You know, so it's like the more detail you can give, like, how are you sitting on the bed? What are you wearing? Are the lights up? Blah, blah, blah. Like, they want to paint a picture in their mind so that they can, like, play it back to themselves while they're, like, by themselves.
100%. Painting the picture is also so important. So many guys in general will just be asking me, what are you wearing right now? And I'm like, those are some things that they need to know. So, just in general, yeah, that's a perfect example too. Wow, great. You should be doing this. What the hell?
No, my dirty talk would be like, I see your wiener, and then we did it. It's like stupid and ridiculous.
And then we did it. Yeah, no, just start to finish. Oh my God. No, you could get into it. I promise. It's easier. Just use your imagination and just picture what you're like. Even if it's an alter ego, mine's kind of an alter ego too, you know? Just picture what you would do and think about the things that they would kind of want and how to spoil them, especially if they are paying some money, you know, be a little extra sweet, you know?
This is so true about an alter ego. And if you guys have watched my videos on confidence before, I say that like pick a confidence sort of icon. For me, like if I go into a situation where I'm really nervous, it's Kourtney Kardashian because like she's got that bad bitch icy persona. And so it's like, I put on the cloak of Kourtney and it's almost like I'm playing the role of her in a movie or something. And that kind of helps my own confidence to meld with this persona. And then, you know, you fake it until you make it. And that really works well in bed too. Like if you don't feel super confident, like act like you're acting, you know, pick a persona, whether it's a celebrity or it's me or it's Bella or it's whoever, or it's just like a character you make up. And that's going to kind of help access different sides of your sexual personality and connect in different ways when you're seducing someone.
Yes, seriously. And I think the more you can kind of put yourself in just kind of that alter ego type of thing is you kind of actually separate yourself from everything else and you honestly realize a lot of things that you like that you might not have thought before, like weird kinks, weird little fetish things, whatever it is. You're kind of like, oh my God, now that I've expressed myself, I can honestly accept that I'm into this and I like this and that's okay and that's hot, and it just separates you from your norms, which is so cool.
Yeah, and like it gives you kind of this like get out of shame free card. It's like, well, that wasn't me doing it, that was like my sexy persona doing it. And it's like we should, if we're ever nervous in any situation, even if it's like I'm out to dinner at a restaurant that's weird and I don't know the food, it's like, okay, experimental crazy Shallon is going to try this weird oxtail stew or something that I wouldn't normally eat. Like, it's important to kind of like have a bit of a split personality, hopefully in a healthy way, to be almost like a frontiersman in your own life. Like, I'm going to send my proxy ahead and they're going to scout this new territory and they're going to report back to me and see if we like it there. And that can work in seduction too.
Yeah, and I also think that it's also helpful, you know, if girls are like, maybe if, for me, for example, I'm single, so I'm not really like worried about like guys at the moment. However, it does cross my mind, like one day if I do meet somebody, what's really going to happen? You know, like, are they going to accept it? And, you know, I already have my, like my kind of,
your spiel.
What's the word? Yeah, my spiel, and I already know how to kind of give good kind of, to kind of let guys know that I'm into the job but not fully into the job, so that I can test the waters already. However, I always think like, what if they get jealous? And it's like, but I know that when I'm actually having sex, you know, I might take on some of that persona, but it's different. It's a different type of situation when I actually am intimate with somebody, you know?
Yeah, well, it's like anyone else. Like, who is the same person they are at work at home? You know?
Exactly.
Like, if you run a company, if you work at Starbucks, whatever, like, are you exactly that person when you're with your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Of course not. But it's like people feel entitled to pass judgment when there's an element of publicness and when there's an element of sex, certainly. I mean, I'm single now, too. And dating, and it's like explaining what I do for a living is sketchy. Like, I don't have it on my dating profiles that I'm a YouTuber. I say I'm still like an editor because it's like people can get their head around that, and I'm like, well, actually that's not what I do. And it's still like, whoa, wait a minute. And guys are like, don't make a video about me. I was like, then don't fucking piss me off. How about that? I'll dox you on the internet. I'll post your address, bitch. So like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So it's, I mean, I can't imagine adding the element of like sex stuff, but it's like, it's different because your stuff, it's like, it's public, but it's private. Like, it's stuff that people are paying to access, and mine's like not sexual, but it is so super public. And it, you know, it's hard for women. You have a guy doing stuff like this, no big deal. No big deal. Women are elastic, and we're non-judgmental in the way that guys are, you know, and they compartmentalize us into like the good girl or the slut, like the potential girlfriend, the booty call, you know. It's really difficult to break out of that. And I think the way you do it is, like Bella said, you have a spiel, and it's like, it can't just be fake. It's like, you know what? This is what I do. This is who I am. If you have a problem with it, the door's that way. Sorry. Like, I'm not going to rehabilitate your flaccid ego and other things so that you feel comfortable with my life. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
100%. Like, if you're fine single and you've been killing it, why should a boyfriend, if a boyfriend's a good boyfriend, he will be okay with it and understand what you're doing and be okay with it, because that's how humans are, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure not everybody loves every type of, there's some people that, some, you know, husbands and wives are doctors and they're at home all the time, and that's hard to deal with too, you know? It's, every job has its certain things in relationships that can possibly make or break it, or if a couple loves each other, they will work through it, you know?
Right. And if someone's just looking for a reason to judge, they're not going to stop at your job. It's going to be what you wear. It's going to be your friends. It's going to be how much you weigh. It's going to be everything. And like, these are red flags we cannot ignore, you know? So if someone is supportive, and like when I've done videos about couples we love, alpha males, it's like Barack and Michelle, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, it's that they are fine with their woman having her own lane. Just completely her own thing. It's like, because whatever she does is not a reflection on them, because their ego is where it needs to be. Their own activities and their own actions are the thing that is reflected upon themselves. Not, they don't need a woman to build them up.
100%. I completely agree. And do you want me to share a piece of advice for girls that are kind of like, okay, so this is something that I actually was talking about with one of my friends on my website. I call them friends. I can say clients, but they're friends, you know?
Friends.
Like
Totally.
They're okay. So we were talking and I was thinking, what am I going to do one day when I meet a guy and I don't want to lie about what I'm doing, but it's hard at the beginning because, you know, what if, since I don't really tell a lot of people what I do, what if he goes on and exposes me? And I know it's not the worst thing in the world and I will be fine, but it's still my business and I can't just trust anybody with it. So ladies, if you're getting into this line of work and you're single, my suggestion when you meet a new guy is to start off. Now, I don't think first date types of things you need to say this, but this is more like if you're serious with a guy or starting to like him and he's like, so really, what are you doing? Like, what do? You tell him you sell feet pictures. Tell him you sell feet pictures because where's he going to get mad at that? You're going to let him know, I sell some feet pictures online. Oh, guys pay a shit ton of money for it, and it's great. And see his response from that. Is he saying, oh, that's dope, you can make so much money? Or is he saying, what? If he's already disgusted at that and grossed out by that, you kind of have your answer. You don't need to convince the guy that you're dating that what you're doing is okay, because I can guarantee you it's probably going to be very hard for him to accept it if he, like, it's mostly hard for guys that don't get it to kind of change their minds, in my opinion. But who knows? There's so many different guys out there. Maybe some need a little bit of convincing and then they're good. Yeah. However, you can let them know, I send feet pictures and I dirty talk a little bit. And then if he is, you know, into it, he could say, oh, that's so cool. And or if not, if he's saying, well, what else do you do? Do they ask for nudes? you just say, well, sometimes they ask for some naked pictures,
Yeah.
some this and that, and see what they say.
Right.
You would say, oh, I don't really do it that much, but, I've been thinking about it. I'm kind of open to it. What do you think? And just see their response. If they're cool with it, then they're probably going to be supportive for it. If they're not, then you kind of have an answer that, they're going to be a douche. However, you kind of also know that you didn't have to tell him everything to hear that reaction. Now you're like, okay, if feet pics were bad,
Totally.
you don't want to know what else I was doing, sir.
And, I think it's important to remember, we don't owe anyone the truth. Like, if you're dating someone seriously, you're committed, yes, but, like, dates number, 1 through 4, 5, like, I used to go into dates, like, bleh, just, like, vomiting up my history, every single thing about me. I want to be honest. Where did I get the idea that honesty was the way men approach dating? Like, from there, and that's not true. Oh, you're 6'1", try again, 5'8". I know why you have a hat on, you bald. So, like, I no longer feel the need to be like, here's everything that I'm doing, here's everything that I am. And it's not, like, from a manipulative standpoint, well, a little bit. But it's like, it's like, I'm feeling you out. In this day and age, with the internet, we don't know what people can do with our secrets and our information. Even if they're not secrets, it's like, if you just tell someone what office you work in, and he turns out to be psychotic, now he knows where you are 8 hours a day, Yep. I don't even give my phone number. It's like, no, like, so we need to take some steps back and put a little distance. So now I want to talk about how to basically get as much money out of a man as possible. And this has never been my strong suit. I'm like, guys have to pay for the date with me, but in terms of like, buy me this bag or whatever it is, like, I'm just not good at that. So tell me, how do I do this?
So, well, for me, it's mainly me selling my content to get that type of thing. I do have, like, on my profile, like, kind of like an offline tip menu. I'll be like, $75 for a coffee, or $200 for a shopping spree, whatever it is. Not a lot of people are super into that. I think they kind of want to, like, get something out of it.
Yeah.
However, some guys just like to spoil, which is great.
Where
in
are
general,
they? Well, they're not 22, Shallon. They're not 22. That's why, dipshit.
Yes.
You want to date younger guys, they're not going to take you to Chanel. Hello?
The thing is, I think for me, this might sound super, like, goes against what I'm kind of saying, or, like, I guess my line of work, but I honestly think that the best way is to have a connection with this person. And when they actually kind of have, like, a thing for you, they cannot say no. There are guys that there's this one guy, he is a teacher, okay? Ooh. And he teaches, like, younger kids too. And I recently did, like, a schoolgirl video, and he literally bought it full price. And I asked him, and the thing is too, is we talk all the time. We just talk. We just talk about our days. And every time I have a new video, he'll buy it. But he really never even tells me, like, oh, I love your video, I came so hard to it last night. Like, no, he doesn't even tell me that. So one day I said, do you even, like, watch them? Like, I don't even know. Like, I've never heard any type of feedback. And he's like, yeah, babe, some of them are great. And so I'm thinking, he just buys all of them because he genuinely likes me and feels bad and wants to support me. Yeah. I think the best situation is to kind of try to talk to the guy. And I know it sounds weird, and some of these guys are not the most, average guys. Some of them are weird. They have weird fetishes. But I think if you get to know them and they do like you, they're going to want to support you, and they can appreciate your hard work, and they will spoil you more than the guys that are just talking to you for the first time. Yeah. However, if it is like a situation, late at night, you can tell they're super horny and they just love your videos. Just honestly, for me, I have a lot of videos, so I'll say, send me this much and I'll send you these videos, and then you kind of just keep on finessing and keep on having the conversation and dirty talking them more, and keep, like, kind of running the meter. If you're doing a dirty talk, just say, let's keep this going. You have to let them know, I'm getting really fucking wet right now, I really want this, and who's gonna turn that down? They want to make you come too, so let's do it.
Do you think that there's a correlation between certain guys, like, if they approach you in a certain way, you're like, this guy's going to be cheap? Like, if you have, I've talked to sugar babies, and I, like, dipped my toe into the sugar baby waters, like, once, like, so briefly. It was kind of a disaster. But it was like, he wanted to, like, fuck on the first date. And I was like, you are not actually going to like buy me anything. Like you are not, this is not going to be like this relationship that we build. Like you were saying, like we have a rapport, there's some trust, there's some sort of friendship connection. This was like, you thought of me as like a prostitute and like, but you wanted the sex first before I got anything out of it. And it's like, that's first of all, not what I do. I'm not a prostitute. I just basically, wanted like bags for companionship. But like, I learned that like when a guy comes at you that hard, like in that kind of way, like it's kind of a red flag that he's not really legit in terms of spoiling you or anything.
Yes. For me, I mean, on this website, there are so many guys. So, you know, there's so many guys that will see a video that they like on my page. And I can tell sometimes it's like a one-hit wonder. They like one type of my video, they'll buy it, and they kind of just like go away. They're kind of just sometimes more cheap. They don't really have all this money to be spending. I think a big thing for me is if they just come at you buying one video and then they go, or they'll only come at me when I, you know, have like a special going on, like, oh, spend $30-50 and get 3-4 videos, and then they'll kind of, you know, come on for the deals only. It's basically, I think if they are only coming at you right away just to buy content, which doesn't bother me, because sometimes I'm like, cool, I just made a sale and I didn't even have to talk, you know, like that's great. However, I can tell that because of that, sometimes they're not in it for the long run. However, if they do enjoy the video that they buy, which, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yes.
If they do enjoy it, sometimes they'll come back and say, I loved it, and they'll want like a custom video, and they'll offer money to like for me to make a custom for them. So I think mainly if they're just coming at you really hard, they want something specific, then I'm like, okay, you're kind of just here for one thing and done.
Yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of guys on there, they want to talk to you. They want to get to know you. So, yeah.
So, okay, I think basically the last question I have, and I'm for like this video, because I have a feeling you guys are going to leave 1 million comments and questions. And so we might have to do like a follow-up, because I know once we hang up, we'll be like, oh, and this, and this, and this. It's like, I should just let you.
Let's do one. Let's do another one. I'm totally down.
We should do like a life swap where I cam for a week and you do this YouTube channel.
Yes, I would love to.
Only I would like destroy your channel. They'd be like, get Bella back. Who is this person?
No, I will help you. I will guide you through it. I'll tell you, it isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
I was doing this at one point. I started it with like another girlfriend of mine. Like we kind of did it at the same time. Like not like together or anything, but she made an account on this website too. And she was so frustrated with it. She was like, I hate the guys on here. They're so annoying. Da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, so this isn't for everybody, because I'm barely annoyed. It's honestly, you have to like it, and you have to be patient. I think that's one of the things.
Yeah.
You have to be patient and understand that sometimes you're going to have shitty days. You're not always going to be making as much as you wanted, but that comes with it, and it makes the good days like so much better, because you're like, damn, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like an exit plan?
You know, not really. I mean, right now I am in school. This is kind of just something that I'm doing to save a good amount of money and help me for my future. To be honest, I really like this. I have no idea if I might do this for the next 10 years, because I see girls on here that are like full-grown adults. Like, you don't have to be 21 to do this. You have to be 18 and older. Yeah. But you can do this. Guy, you would be surprised. Like, guys like a lot of different ages. And if you have, again, that confidence, you're good. To be honest, I have so much fun here. I can even say that if I ever got, like, a full-time job within the next, like, 5 years so, I think I would still do this as a side hustle, to be honest. Because why not, you know?
Why not? You know, because it's like, you're already in it. It's like if someone were to like expose you, like whatever that would even mean, you know, whatever your sort of like doomsday scenario is. But like your family knows, your friends know, like, okay, like expose you to who and for what and whatever. It's like, well, you've already done one video, so like why not do 10,000, you know, and make that money off of it? It's like, unless you're planning on running for president, I mean, look who's in our White House, so clearly the moral bar has been obliterated. So but you're a woman, so you can never be a president, because we hate women in this country, so don't worry about that.
100%. Fuck women.
Like, but if you're actually fucking us, do a poor job of it. Like, at least, like, I feel like the correlation between respect and like how many orgasms we have is like not going in the ways we went. Okay, so the last question I have is, I guess probably the most important. Like, I get questions from girls and they're like, I found my boyfriend or my husband has been on a cam site or he's been talking to girls, like, and it seems like such a violation. And I'm like, well, you know, it doesn't have to be this intimacy breach. Why do you think guys come to your channel? Like, and are a lot of them single? Are they young? Are they old? Like, do they have partners? Are they working out like a fetish they don't feel comfortable with? Like, what are they doing there with you?
You know, there's so many. There's guys that are in their 20s. There's guys in literally any age. I encounter a lot. You know, I like to ask in the beginning, are you married? Do you have kids? Are you single? So generally, I don't know. It's honestly hard to say. I think a lot of them are single and a lot of them are in relationships. For the most part, I think guys are on here. The guys that are single, I think that they like the idea of like talking to a girl and seeing her post the videos and making them for you, and they like are into that. I think if you are married doing this, sometimes I think maybe these guys are a little bit lonely, you know, like if they're using the features of just messaging me and just wanting to get to know me. I mean, I make it very clear that this is just a job, and I'm not gonna come to your hometown, and even if they want to pay me to, you know, like have sex or whatever, I'm still like, no.
Yeah.
No. However, I think it has to do with them kind of just being either a little bit lonely, a little bit maybe bored, and then with the fetish thing, there are so many random fetishes, and sometimes, you know, like there are some, I think the ones that kind of that I really get into it, guys, and I actually ask them about it, is when they talk about like threesomes with another guy, and even if sometimes they want to be like submissive in the threesome and have like another guy like dominate them, and I'll ask them, I'll say, are you bisexual, and are you openly bisexual? Like, what's going on? Because some of these guys, they're telling me, I'm married and I really want a guy to dominate me, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to say I don't want to label anybody as gay or anything, but I know a lot of straight guys, and I know them in person, and they tell me, like, if I even kiss a guy, that's like, I don't even want to kiss a guy because I'm gay. And so I'm thinking, if a guy is open to that, I don't know, the experience that I've had with guys is clearly if you want something to do with that, you know, there's maybe something there of being bisexual, being gay, which is totally cool. However, I think they kind of have some fetishes sometimes that they're scared to talk about, scared to, you know, think that could, sometimes I think it's unrealistic to come to life in person. And, you know, sometimes the fantasy of just narrating about it and talking about it with another girl online could help them enough to make them happy. But I think it has to do with either a secret fetish that they're not really comfortable expressing in person, or you know, sometimes they just need some companionship. They just want to talk to you and see how your day is and just have that nice conversation. Sometimes it just makes people feel like cared about, which is really nice. I kind of like that in my job, to know, like, you can talk to me if you're going through something. It's hard to sometimes talk about it with people that you know, so it's nice to have that.
I think, like, if you are listening and you've had a guy, you're dating your boyfriend or husband, whatever, and you found out he's like talking to a cam girl or whatever, like, I think it just, like Bella was saying, it comes back to communication. And it's like, I think it's a problem if it's because he needs companionship and there's like a disconnect in your relationship that he's getting now from this girl online. But so it's like, sit down and ask him, be like, hey, is this a companionship issue? Do you feel ignored? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel like sort of like submissive and impotent in this relationship? You know, because I put it on my podcast one time that one of you guys was in this situation and you said that your husband felt like he was failing as a parent. I'm like, well, then it makes sense that he's in this like cam girl relationship because he feels more powerful there. You know, he feels more like a man. So it's like she was just the symptom of like the larger issue playing out in your relationship. And even if he was never online again, that's going to manifest in some other way. So you got to address that. Or ask him and be like, or are you on these sites because there's some sort of element of like fantasy, like dismantling and working through some fantasies and exploring that side of you? And if that's the case, that's fine. If you don't feel comfortable expressing that with me, But if it becomes an issue where it's an intimacy thing and you're like, you feel like it's a companionship thing, then I do need to know about it. Because you know what, girls? It is really not our business what our partners fantasize about. It isn't. It isn't our business what kind of porn they watch, unless they're bringing some weird element into our sexual experience. Like, people have the right to be freaks behind closed doors, and sometimes that door closes on you too. And so if they need to work through some sort of fantasy and get in touch with a different side of themselves, they are allowed to do that kind of in a vacuum. And it doesn't have anything to do with you, and it doesn't mean they don't love you. But if it starts to kind of like take on a life of its own, where he's sort of inhabiting this fantasy world more, then that is the problem.
Completely. I totally agree. I think, because sometimes when I'm talking to these guys, I'm like, I do feel bad. Like, because sometimes some guys are literally like, I can't even upload any more money on this website because my wife is going to see, and I feel bad because I don't want it to be them lying.
Yeah.
However, sometimes think about it. Why do you misbehave sometimes? Whether it's to your parents, with your wife or whatever, it's maybe to get attention. Maybe they are so desperately needing their wife to come to them and say, what the fuck is going on? Why are you doing this? Maybe they just need that, and they're too afraid to express that, so they need you to start that conversation. And like, I feel bad sometimes. I don't want their wife to possibly be, upset at the fact that they're talking to me, but again, it's that 80-20. Maybe they need to hear this, that they're not getting from you. Maybe you're just not having that open ear that I am. And that's kind of my job. That's what they're paying me for. So it really goes back to that. It's harder for guys to get into therapy type situations. I think this is way easier for them to be like, yeah, sure, let's talk. But when you really think about it, why do they need to talk to me? If they just really needed to jack off, they could have gone on Pornhub. Why do they want to pay me, And I don't want to take it. I don't want these girls to think you're an awful girlfriend. I'm way better to your boyfriend. It's just, maybe there's something going on and you guys have to talk about it. That's the only way it's going to get resolved.
Yeah. So I think one big takeaway from this in terms of manipulation in Evil Week is if you're dating someone who's married or he's got a girlfriend, you hone in on what it is she is not giving him. Maybe it's that companionship or intimacy. Maybe it's fantasy play. And that's how you get him. And that's how you manipulate him. And that's how you get him to buy things for you. Like we were talking about in the lust one, it's shadow self. You have to tap into the side of somebody else that either they don't feel comfortable amplifying or they're trying to amplify and no one is noticing it, And that is really where the secret sauce of all this kind of comes in. So we'll wrap up from here. And like I said, I feel like we could do like 10 more parts of this. This is like the longest video I've ever done because it's probably the most interesting thing I've ever talked about. This is fascinating.
Thank you so much.
So leave your questions and comments for Bella in the comment section. Unless, of course, you've got something smart to say, in which case I'm not even taking it. Like, her being on this call and sharing her life and these details is not something she owes anyone. And for her to do this and like open up like this is huge. So if you're coming at her with judgment, you can just go to a different channel because it's not today, Satan. We're evil, but we're gang for girls, all right? We're evil towards the other evil forces, not towards each other. So that's... So let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk more. Miss Bella, thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Thank you. This is the best. Ask me questions. Ask Shallon questions. Ask me, and we'll get it going. This is so cool.
Yeah, I feel like you need to make like a dummy YouTube account so that you can respond to some of the comments because I know people are going to want like specific dirty talk phrases, like specific like hand job techniques, blow job techniques. So that's your assignment for today. Like make a fake account, or you can just text them to me and I'll post them on your behalf.
Okay, we'll figure it out. That's so sick.
All right, Shalloners, that's it for this installment of Evil Week. Come back tomorrow for some more. And like I said, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, go to my website, shallonlester.com, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO and shop my new merch line. This is my podcast.